I thought I was safe when I collapsed in his arms that night in the forest, but I had no idea I was falling into the arms of my fated mate from another life. The Alpha King recognized my scent immediately, even though I died in his arms 5 years ago and was reborn with no memory of our love. Now my son and I are trapped in his fortress, while my former captor hunts us both, desperate to use my child's blood for a prophecy that could destroy everything. What none of them realize is that when my memories return, so will a power that will change the fate of wolves and humans forever. Subscribe and comment if you've ever felt that strange déjà vu, like you've loved someone before in another lifetime. Because this story of second chances might just make you believe in fate all over again. I run until my lungs burn. The rain pelts my face as I drag Eli through the dark forest. His small hand grips mine with desperate strength. "Keep going, baby," I whisper, though my legs scream to stop. "Just a little further." The howls grow louder behind us. They found our trail again. My heart hammers against my ribs as I scan the trees for somewhere, anywhere, to hide. Eli tugs my hand, pointing to a massive oak with roots that form a small hollow. I nod and push him toward it. "Get in," I say, helping him squeeze into the space. "Don't make a sound, no matter what happens." His eyes widen with fear. Those innocent brown eyes that haven't seen a smile in months. "I'll be right back," I promise, knowing it might be a lie. Count to 100, then 200 more. The growls are closer now. Too close. I back away from Eli's hiding spot, drawing the danger with me. My feet slip in the mud as I sprint in the opposite direction. A dark shape lunges from the trees. I scream as claws tear through my jacket. The wolf's teeth snap inches from my throat. "Found you," a voice snarls as the wolf shifts partially. A monstrous half-form with elongated jaw and human eyes. "Darius will be pleased." I kick hard, connecting with its chest. The creature staggers back but doesn't fall. Another wolf appears, then another. Their eyes gleam with hunger in the darkness. The rain turns to ice pellets, stinging my skin as I back against a tree. My hand finds a sharp rock. Not much of a weapon, but better than nothing. "Where's the boy?" the leader demands, saliva dripping from his fangs. "Gone," I say, raising the rock. "You'll never find him." The wolf lunges. I swing the rock but miss. Teeth sink into my arm. Pain explodes through my body. A deafening roar cuts through the night. The wolves freeze, heads swiveling toward the sound. The air changes. The rain stops. The forest holds its breath. A massive black wolf bursts from the fog like a nightmare. Twice the size of the others, its coal dark fur ripples over muscles that seem carved from stone. The wolf attacking me releases my arm, backing away with a whimper. "Alpha King," he hisses. The black wolf's eyes lock on mine for one electric moment. Golden amber flames burning in the darkness. Then he attacks. Blood sprays across the fallen leaves. The pack scatters, but the black wolf is faster, stronger. He tears through them with terrifying efficiency. My vision blurs as I slide down the tree trunk. The coppery taste of blood fills my mouth. Through the haze of pain, I watch the slaughter. When it's over, silence falls. The black wolf stands among the bodies, his fur slick with blood and rain. Steam rises from his massive form. He turns toward me. His eyes hold mine again, intelligent, fierce. Something shifts inside my chest. Recognition pulses through me, though I've never seen him before. In a fluid motion that steals my breath, the wolf transforms. Bones crack and reshape. Fur recedes into skin. A man stands before me, tall and powerful, with broad shoulders and dark hair. A jagged scar runs from his temple to jaw. His amber eyes remain unchanged, the wolf still present behind them. "Who are you?" he asks. His voice is deep, rough with authority. I try to answer, but darkness creeps at the edges of my vision. My arm throbs where the wolf bit me. "My son," I manage to whisper. "Please, He's hiding. The man kneels beside me. Up close, his face is even more striking. Hard planes and sharp angles softened only by full lips pressed into a grim line. "Where?" he demands. I point weakly toward the oak tree. "Don't hurt him. He's just a child." Something flickers in his eyes. Pain? Memory? It disappears too quickly to name. "I am Ronan Vale," he says, "Alpha King of the Northern Territories." My body feels impossibly heavy. I fight to stay conscious. "I can help you," Ronan says, "but you must trust me." Trust. The word feels foreign, dangerous. I haven't trusted anyone but Eli in years. "Why would you help us?" I ask. My voice sounds distant, fading. Ronan doesn't answer. Instead, he reaches toward me. His fingers brush my cheek with unexpected gentleness. "Your scent," he whispers. His eyes widen with shock. "It can't be." I try to ask what he means, but the words won't come. The forest spins around me. Strong arms lift me from the ground. I feel the steady rhythm of his heartbeat against my cheek as he carries me. "My son," I whisper again. "I'll find him," Ronan promises. The last thing I remember is the warmth of his chest and the strange feeling that I've been here before, in these arms, in another life. Then darkness takes me completely. When I wake, pain greets me first. My body feels beaten, broken. The second sensation is warmth, soft furs beneath me, a fire crackling nearby. I bolt upright, panic flooding my veins. "Eli!" The sudden movement sends daggers of pain through my ribs. I gasp, clutching my side. "Your son is safe," a woman's voice says. I turn to find a tall woman with copper hair standing by the bedside. Her eyes are kind but cautious. "Where is he?" I demand. "Where am I?" "The fortress of the Northern Alpha," she answers. "I'm Maeve, the pack healer." My gaze darts around the room. Stone walls hung with tapestries, a large fireplace, windows that show only darkness beyond. No sign of Eli. "I need to see my son," I say, throwing back the furs. My arm is bandaged, and someone has dressed me in a clean nightgown. Maeve steps forward. "You shouldn't move yet." The bite was deep. I ignore her, swinging my legs over the edge of the bed. My head spins, but I push through it. "The king ordered me to keep you here," Maeve says firmly. "I don't care what your king ordered," I snap. "Where is my son?" The door opens. Ronan fills the frame, his massive shoulders nearly touching both sides. In the firelight, he looks even more imposing than in the forest. His black hair falls to his shoulders. A silver circlet rests on his brow. And behind him, clutching the king's cloak, stands Eli. My breath catches at the sight of my son. Clean, unharmed, his dark curls damp from a bath. "Eli!" I cry. He rushes to me, throwing his thin arms around my waist. I hold him tight, feeling his small body tremble against mine. "He hasn't spoken," Ronan says, watching us with unreadable eyes. "Not a word." "He doesn't speak," I say simply. "Not anymore." The king's gaze sharpens. "Why?" I stroke Eli's hair, avoiding those penetrating amber eyes. "That's our business." Ronan steps closer. The air seems to thicken, charged with tension. "When you're in my fortress, under my protection, everything is my business," he says. His voice is low, controlled, but power vibrates beneath each word. I lift my chin. "We didn't ask for your protection." "You'd be dead without it," he counters. The silence stretches between us, heavy with unspoken questions. Maeve clears her throat. "The woman needs rest, my king." Ronan's gaze doesn't leave my face. "What's your name?" I hesitate, weighing truth against safety. "Lena," I finally say. "Lena Hart." He tilts his head slightly, as if tasting my name in his mind. "You're human." It's not quite a question, but I answer anyway. Yes. Humans don't usually wander into these woods, he says. These forests are claimed by wolf packs, dangerous territory. We had no choice, I say. Who were you running from, Lena Hart? Ronan asks. Eli's fingers dig into my side. I feel his fear. The same wolves who attacked me, I answer carefully. Darius's rogues, Ronan says. His jaw tightens. Why do they want you? I look down at Eli, then back at the Alpha King. I escaped them. Ronan's eyes narrow. Escaped? I hold his gaze, refusing to elaborate. Some truths are too dangerous to share. The king takes another step toward us. Eli shrinks against me. Don't touch my son, I warn, voice sharper than I intended. Something flashes in Ronan's eyes. Anger, perhaps, or surprise at being challenged. You're safe here for now, he says after a moment. But don't mistake shelter for freedom. Until I know what danger you've brought to my territory, you'll remain within these walls. You're keeping us prisoner? I ask. Ronan's mouth curves in a cold smile. I prefer honored guests, but yes, effectively. Maeve approaches with a steaming cup. Drink this. It will help with the pain. I take it reluctantly, never looking away from the king. Thank you for saving us, but we'll leave as soon as I'm healed. Ronan turns toward the door. Over his shoulder, he says, We'll see. The door closes behind him with a heavy thud. His presence lingers in the room like a storm cloud. Maeve sighs. The king isn't usually so intense. Could have fooled me, I mutter. She studies me with curious eyes. There's something about you that unsettles him. I drink the bitter tea, feeling warmth spread through my aching limbs. Eli climbs onto the bed beside me, his small body pressed against mine. Tomorrow will be better, Maeve promises. The king may seem harsh, but he protects what's his. We're not his, I say firmly. Maeve's smile is cryptic. Rest now. Morning comes quickly in the north. After she leaves, I hold Eli close under the furs. His breathing slows as he drifts to sleep, but sleep evades me. The Alpha King's golden eyes haunt my thoughts. The way he looked at me in the forest, with shock and something deeper, something impossible. He said my scent disturbed him. What did he mean? Outside the window, snow begins to fall. We're trapped in a fortress with a dangerous man who thinks he owns us. Yet deep inside, beneath the fear and suspicion, a small voice whispers that I've finally found safety. I press my lips to Eli's forehead and close my eyes. Tomorrow I'll find a way out. Tomorrow we'll run again. But tonight, for the first time in months, I let myself rest without one eye open. And somewhere in the darkness of dreams, a wolf howls, calling to something buried inside me. Dawn breaks with pale golden light filtering through frosted windows. Eli sleeps peacefully beside me, his small chest rising and falling in rhythm. I test my injuries, wincing as pain shoots through my bandaged arm. The wolf's bite throbs beneath the dressings, but I can move my fingers. Good enough. The door opens without warning. Maeve enters carrying a tray of food and fresh clothes. How are you feeling? She asks, setting the tray on a small table. Like I was mauled by wolves, I answer. Her lips quirk upward. At least your sense of humor survived. I ease out of bed, careful not to wake Eli. Is there somewhere I can wash? Maeve nods toward a door I hadn't noticed. The bathing chamber is through there. I've brought warm water. The prospect of clean water feels like a luxury I'd forgotten existed. I've spent too many weeks washing in cold streams. Thank you, I say. The king requests your presence at breakfast, she adds, helping me stand. I stiffen. That's not a request. It's an order. Maeve shrugs. Call it what you will. He expects you both in the great hall within the hour. After she leaves, I wake Eli gently. His eyes flutter open, deep brown, too solemn for a child his age. "We're safe for now," I tell him, stroking his hair. "But we need to be careful." He nods, serious and silent. My brave boy. The bathing chamber surprises me with its luxury. A stone tub filled with steaming water, soaps that smell of pine and herbs. I help Eli wash first, then quickly clean myself. The clothes Maeve brought fit well enough: thick woolen leggings, a long tunic, soft boots lined with fur. Practical northern garments in shades of blue and gray. I braid my damp hair and examine my reflection in a small mirror. A stranger looks back at me, hollow-cheeked, eyes too large and a pale face. Months of running have worn me thin. Eli tugs my hand, pointing to the door. He's hungry. "Let's see what this Alpha King wants," I say, forcing confidence into my voice. Guards flank our door, two tall men who straighten when we emerge. They don't speak, merely gesture for us to follow. The fortress is massive. We walk through stone corridors lit by torches, past tapestries depicting battles and hunts. Wolves feature prominently in every scene. The Great Hall stands 3 stories high with massive beams arching overhead. A long table dominates the center, though only one end is set with plates and goblets. Ronan stands near a roaring fireplace, his back to us. Even in stillness, power radiates from him. "Your guests, my king," our escort announces. Ronan turns. The morning light catches on his silver circlet and the planes of his face. He wears a simple black tunic that does nothing to diminish his authority. His eyes find mine. "You look better." "Amazing what a night without being hunted will do," I reply. Something almost like amusement flickers across his features. "Please, sit." Eli sticks close to my side as we approach the table. I notice with surprise that a small cushion has been placed on one chair, raising it to a height better suited for a child. "I thought your son might be more comfortable," Ronan explains, following my gaze. The thoughtfulness catches me off guard. "Thank you." Servants appear with platters of food, bread still warm from the oven, roasted meat, fruits preserved in honey. My stomach growls embarrassingly loud. "Eat," Ronan says, taking his seat at the head of the table. I serve Eli first, then myself, trying not to appear too eager despite my hunger. We haven't had a proper meal in weeks. The king watches us, his amber eyes missing nothing. "How long have you been running?" I swallow a bite of bread. 3 months. From Darius. It's not a question, but I nod anyway. "What does he want with you?" Ronan asks. Humans don't usually interest rogue wolves. I choose my words carefully. "I worked in his compound, as a servant." "A slave," Ronan corrects sharply. I don't deny it. "Yes." His fingers tighten around his goblet. "And the boy?" Eli stops eating, his eyes darting between us. "Born there," I say simply. Understanding darkens Ronan's expression. He doesn't press further on that point. "Why chase you?" he asks instead. "Slaves escape. Rogues don't usually bother hunting them down." The question treads dangerous ground. I can't tell him the truth. That Darius believes Eli is part of some prophecy. That my son's blood holds power. "Perhaps I took something valuable when I left," I suggest vaguely. Ronan's eyes narrow. "Did you?" I meet his gaze steadily. "Only what was mine to begin with." The silence stretches between us, thick with unspoken words. Finally, Ronan sets down his knife. "You're lying to me, Lena Hart." My heart beats faster. "I've told you enough for now." "Not nearly enough," he counters. "Not when you bring danger to my borders." Before I can respond, the hall doors burst open. A tall man strides in, his face lined with urgency. "Forgive the interruption, my king," he says, bowing quickly. "Scouts report movement along the eastern ridge." Ronan stands immediately. "How many?" "A dozen, maybe more." "Darius?" Ronan asks. The man shakes his head. No sign of him, but they carry his banner. Ronan's jaw tightens. He glances at me, then back to his man. Double the patrols. No one enters or leaves without my knowledge. Yes, my king. After the man leaves, Ronan turns to me. His expression is hard as granite. It seems your former master wants you back rather badly, he says. Fear coils in my stomach. We should leave. This isn't your fight. You're in my territory now, Ronan says. That makes it my fight. Eli slides from his chair and moves to stand beside me. His small hand finds mine. Why would you risk your people for strangers? I ask. Ronan steps closer. The air between us changes, charged with something I can't name. I told you, he says, voice dropping lower. Your scent disturbs me. My breath catches. What does that mean? He reaches out, his fingers hovering near my face without touching. It means you remind me of someone I lost. The admission hangs in the air between us. Grief flashes across his features, quickly masked. Who? I whisper. Ronan withdraws his hand. It doesn't matter. She's gone. Before I can press further, a child's laugh echoes through the hall. We both turn to find Eli kneeling by a large wolfhound that's appeared from beneath the table. The dog licks Eli's face, tail wagging furiously. And my son, my silent, traumatized son, makes a sound that's almost a giggle. Ronan's eyes widen. He doesn't speak, but he laughs? I haven't heard him make a sound in months, I say, throat tight with emotion. Something shifts in Ronan's expression. The hardness softens just a fraction. The dog is called Shadow, he says. He can stay with the boy if it pleases him. Eli looks up at us, a ghost of a smile on his lips. He pats the dog's head with gentle hands. Thank you, I say, meaning it. Ronan nods. I have matters to attend to. Maeve will show you around the fortress. You may go anywhere except the northern tower and the outer walls. Still prisoners, then, I note. Still guests, he corrects. With limitations. After he leaves, I kneel beside Eli. You like the dog? He nods enthusiastically, wrapping his arms around Shadow's neck. The hound seems equally taken with my son. Maeve appears soon after, smiling at the sight. I see Shadow has found a new friend. The king said he could stay with us, I explain. Interesting, Maeve murmurs. Shadow was his mate's dog before... She stops abruptly. Before what? I prompt. Maeve hesitates. It's not my story to tell. Come, I'll show you the fortress. For the next hour, we explore the vast structure. Living quarters, kitchens, training yards, each area bustling with activity. Wolves in human form nod respectfully as we pass, though many watch us with curious eyes. They know we're human, I observe. Humans rarely come here, Maeve confirms. Especially not under the king's protection. We pass a window overlooking the main courtyard. Below, Ronan trains with his men. His movements are fluid, powerful. He fights 3 warriors simultaneously, yet none land a blow. I find myself unable to look away. Something about his grace in battle stirs a memory that won't quite form. Maeve watches me watching him. The king wasn't always so cold. What changed him? I ask. Loss, she answers simply. The kind that breaks something fundamental inside. My fingers absently trace a scar on my shoulder, a mark I've had as long as I can remember. Circular, like a bite. Maeve's eyes follow the movement. Her expression changes to one of shock. Where did you get that mark? She asks sharply. I pull my hand away. I've always had it. She steps closer. May I? Reluctantly, I pull the collar of my tunic aside to reveal the scar. Maeve studies it with intense concentration. A mate mark, she whispers. A what? She shakes her head, stepping back. Nothing. It's just an unusual scar. Before I can question her further, horns sound from the watchtower. The fortress erupts into activity. What's happening? I ask. Rogues at the border, Maeve says, grabbing my arm. We need to get inside. Fear pulses through me. They've found us. We rush back toward our quarters, Eli clutching Shadow with one hand and my tunic with the other. As we round a corner, we collide with Ronan. He catches my shoulders to steady me, his hands warm and strong. Get to your room, he orders. Stay there until I return. Are they attacking? I ask. His eyes lock with mine. Not yet, but they will. I hesitate. This is our fault. No, Ronan says firmly. Darius has wanted my territory for years. You're just his newest excuse. The certainty in his voice steadies me. Be careful. Something flickers in his eyes, surprise at my concern. I've survived worse, he says. A man approaches, tall, with sharp features and watchful eyes. The horses are ready, my king. Ronan nods. Kale, this is Lena and Eli. They are under my protection. No harm comes to them. Kale's gaze assesses us coldly. As you wish. I mean it, old friend, Ronan says, voice hardening. Their safety above all else. Kale bows his head. You have my word. Ronan looks at me one last time. Something unspoken passes between us, a current of recognition neither of us understands. I'll return by nightfall, he says. Then he's gone, striding away with Kale at his side. Maeve hurries us to our room. The king will handle this. He always does. But her voice lacks conviction. Hours pass with agonizing slowness. Eli plays with Shadow while I pace near the window, watching the forest edge for signs of battle. When darkness falls, torches illuminate the courtyard below. Guards patrol the walls with increased vigilance. He should be back by now, I murmur. Maeve brings us supper, but neither Eli nor I have much appetite. Even Shadow seems restless, ears perked toward the door. Something's wrong, I say as the clock strikes 9. He said he'd return by nightfall. The king knows these forests better than anyone, Maeve assures me. He'll be fine. But midnight comes with no word. Eli finally falls asleep with Shadow curled protectively at his feet. I continue my vigil at the window. Stars shine coldly in the clear night sky. The moon bathes the courtyard in silver light. When the clock strikes 2, hoofbeats echo through the silence. I press my face to the glass as riders thunder through the gates. Ronan dismounts first, his movements stiff. Even from a distance, I can see dark stains on his clothing. Blood. Without thinking, I rush from the room. Guards call after me, but I ignore them, racing down corridors and stairs until I reach the main hall. Ronan stands among his men, issuing orders in a tight voice. When he turns and sees me, his expression hardens. I told you to stay in your room, he says. You're hurt, I reply, eyes fixed on the slash across his ribs. It's nothing. Kale appears at his side, face grim. 8 dead, my king. 12 wounded. Pain flashes across Ronan's features. See to the families. Double compensation for each one. And the rogues? I ask. Retreated, Ronan says. For now. He sways slightly, one hand moving to his side. Blood seeps between his fingers. You need the healer, I say, stepping forward. What I need, he growls, is for you to obey orders. The harshness of his tone stops me cold. His amber eyes blaze with anger, or is it fear? My king, Kale intervenes. Let me escort you to your chambers. Maeve waits there. Ronan nods curtly. As he passes me, his free hand suddenly grips my wrist. We talk tomorrow, he says, voice low. About everything. The intensity of his gaze makes my heart race. I can only nod. He releases me and continues with Kyle. At the doorway, he pauses, looking back. The rogues carried silver weapons, he says. They came prepared to kill wolves, not capture humans. The implication hangs in the air. What are you saying? I ask. Ronan's eyes bore into mine. I'm saying they weren't just hunting you. They were hunting me. With that, he disappears into the shadows of the corridor, leaving me standing alone in the vast hall, surrounded by the smell of blood and the weight of questions without answers. Back in my room, I find Eli still sleeping peacefully. I sit beside him on the bed, my mind racing with the day's events. Something doesn't make sense. Why would Darius risk open war with the Alpha King? Even for Eli, it seems a desperate move, unless there's more at stake than I realize. I touch the scar on my shoulder absently. Mate mark, Maeve had called it. Outside, the wind rises, howling around the fortress walls. It sounds almost like wolves crying for their fallen packmates. I curl beside my son, but sleep refuses to come. Behind my closed eyes, I see Ronan's face, proud, wounded, determined. And somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers that I've seen that face before. In another life. Another time. I tell myself it's just exhaustion playing tricks on my mind. Nothing more. But when I finally drift into dreams, I run through endless forests with a black wolf at my side. His amber eyes hold the universe, and I know him. Gods help me. I know him. Morning brings chaos. Servants rush through corridors carrying bandages and herbs. The fortress hums with tension, grief for the fallen mixing with anger for revenge. I dress quickly and wake Eli. His eyes ask the question his voice won't. We're still safe, I assure him, but things are complicated. Shadow stays close to him as we venture into the hallway. Guards still flank our door, but their faces are grim, distracted. Where is the king? I ask one. Northern Tower, he answers curtly, with the wounded. I hesitate. Ronan specifically forbade us from going to the Northern Tower. Is Maeve there too? I press. The guard nods. All healers are needed today. Decision made, I take Eli's hand. We're going to help. We wind our way through the fortress, following the increasing signs of activity. The Northern Tower stands apart from the main structure, connected by a covered bridge. No one stops us. Everyone moves with urgent purpose, too focused on their tasks to question our presence. The tower's main chamber has been converted to a temporary infirmary. Wounded warriors lie on pallets while healers move between them. The smell of blood and herbs fills the air. I spot Maeve immediately, her copper hair bound tightly as she stitches a wound. Her hands move with practiced efficiency. Across the room stands Ronan. His own injuries have been bandaged, but fatigue lines his face. He speaks quietly to a young warrior whose arm ends in a blood-soaked wrapping. Eli squeezes my hand, clearly disturbed by the sight of so much suffering. Wait here with Shadow, I tell him, guiding him to a bench near the wall. I'm going to help. I approach Maeve, who looks up with surprise. You shouldn't be here. I have experience with wounds, I say. Let me help. She studies me for a moment, then nods. Wash your hands thoroughly, then bring fresh water to the men along that wall. For the next hour, I work steadily, carrying water, changing bandages, holding hands of those in pain. These wolves fought because of us. The least I can do is ease their suffering. I feel Ronan's eyes on me occasionally, but avoid looking at him directly. Last night's words echo in my mind. They were hunting me. Near midday, I kneel beside a young wolf with a chest wound. His breathing comes in shallow gasps. The king says you're human, he whispers as I adjust his bandage. I am, I confirm. His fevered eyes study my face. You don't smell entirely human. I freeze. What do you mean? Something underneath, he murmurs. Something familiar. Before I can question him further, his eyes close. His breathing evens out. Sleep, not death. I check his pulse to be sure. He's right. Ronan's voice comes from behind me. I turn to find him standing there, arms crossed over his chest. The bandages visible beneath his open shirt remind me of his own injuries. What do you mean? I ask, rising to my feet. You don't smell entirely human, he says, eyes intense. I noticed it in the forest. My heart beats faster. That's impossible. I am human. Are you certain? He asks. The question unsettles me more than it should. Of course I'm human. What else could I possibly be? You shouldn't be in this tower, Ronan continues, changing the subject. I gave specific instructions. Your people are hurt, I reply. I wanted to help. Something shifts in his expression. Surprise, perhaps even approval. Walk with me, he says. It's not a request. I glance toward Eli, who watches us with solemn eyes. He can stay with Maeve, Ronan says, following my gaze. She'll watch over him. I nod to Eli, indicating he should remain. Shadow settles more firmly at his side. Ronan leads me through a door and up a narrow staircase. We emerge onto the tower's upper level, an open space with views in all directions. The fortress sprawls below us, surrounded by forests that stretch to distant mountains. Snow dusts the treetops, glittering in the winter sun. It's beautiful, I say despite myself. And hard to defend, Ronan replies pragmatically. Too much border, too few warriors. I turn to face him. Why did you bring me here? Because I need answers, he says. And you've been avoiding giving them. The wind tugs at my hair, pulling strands loose from my braid. Ronan watches the movement with peculiar intensity. What do you want to know? I ask. Everything, he says simply. Starting with what makes you so valuable to Darius that he would risk war with me. I wrap my arms around myself, suddenly cold despite the sun. It's not me he wants. Understanding dawns in Ronan's eyes. The boy. I nod reluctantly. Why? He asks. The truth sits heavy on my tongue. I've kept it secret for so long. There's a prophecy, I finally say, about a child born to a human mother in wolf territory. A child who would never speak but whose blood could break barriers between worlds. Ronan's expression darkens. What barriers? I don't know exactly. Something about magic returning to those who lost it. Power to those who serve. And Darius believes your son is this child? Yes. Ronan paces the length of the tower. These are old superstitions, blood magic, forbidden practices. Forbidden or not, Darius believes it, I say. Enough to hunt us across 3 territories. How did you escape him? Ronan asks. I look away. One of his guards helped me. He paid for it with his life. Silence falls between us, heavy with unasked questions. There's more, Ronan says eventually. Something you're still not telling me. My fingers find the scar on my shoulder again, a nervous habit I can't seem to break. Ronan's eyes follow the movement. Show me that mark. I step back. Why? Show me, he repeats, voice dropping to a growl. Reluctantly, I pull my collar aside, revealing the circular scar. Ronan's breath catches audibly. He steps closer, his fingers reaching out. I remain still as he traces the mark, his touch gentle despite his size. Where did you get this? He asks, voice barely above a whisper. I've always had it, I answer. As long as I can remember. He withdraws his hand as if burned. Without warning, he pulls his own tunic aside, revealing his shoulder. A matching mark scars his skin. My world tilts. What does this mean? Ronan's eyes are filled with impossible emotion. It's a mate mark. That's what Maeve called it, I say, struggling to understand. But what does it mean? It means you were claimed by a wolf, he explains, as his eternal mate. I shake my head. That's impossible. I've never... When wolves find their true mates, they mark them, Ronan continues. The mark bonds them for life. But I'm human, I protest, and I've never been with a wolf before Darius's compound. Pain flashes across Ronan's features. What happened there? Nothing like what you're thinking, I assure him quickly. I was a servant, not that kind of slave. Relief softens his expression. But you have no memory of receiving this mark? None, I confirm. Ronan turns away, staring out at the forest. 5 years ago, I had a mate. The sudden change of subject confuses me. What happened to her? Darius happened, he says, voice hard with old grief. His rogues attacked a village under my protection. They took her. My heart aches for his pain. I'm sorry. I tracked them for days, he continues. When I found their camp, it was burning. Her body was never recovered. You think she died in the fire, I say softly. I know she did, Ronan says. I felt it. Here. He touches his chest. The mate bond shattered. The wind rises, carrying the scent of snow. I shiver, not entirely from cold. What was her name? I ask. Ronan's eyes find mine. Lena. Something stirs inside me, a recognition that makes no sense. That's similar to my name, I say. Yes. His gaze intensifies. And you bear her scent beneath your human smell. You wear my mate mark on your shoulder. You appear in my territory with a son who doesn't speak. The implications stack like stones, building something I can't quite grasp. What are you saying? I ask, though part of me already knows. I think you died in that fire, Ronan says quietly. And somehow, you were reborn. Laughter bubbles up, desperate, disbelieving. That's impossible. Is it? He challenges. You said yourself the prophecy speaks of barriers between worlds, of magic returning. My head spins with the absurdity of it all. You think I'm your dead mate reincarnated? I think something happened that neither of us understands, Ronan answers. Something that ties us together despite death itself. Before I can respond, horns sound from the watchtower. Ronan stiffens, head turning toward the sound. 3 blasts, he mutters. Enemies approaching. We rush back down the stairs. The infirmary has erupted into activity, wounded warriors struggling to rise despite their injuries. Eli runs to me, his eyes wide with fear. I pull him close. How many? Ronan demands of a guard who bursts through the door. Dozens, my king, the man reports, approaching from the east and south. Darius? Ronan asks. His banner flies at the front. Ronan turns to me, his face grim. It seems your former master has decided to force the issue. Let us leave, I plead. We can draw them away from your people. No, Ronan says firmly. This ends today. He issues rapid orders, warriors moving instantly to obey. Maeve approaches us. Take them to the king's chambers, Ronan instructs her. The safest room in the fortress. I can help, I argue. Ronan grips my shoulders. You help by keeping your son safe. If Darius gets him, all this bloodshed means nothing. The truth of his words silences me. I nod reluctantly. Kale will guard you, Ronan continues. Trust no one else. What about you? I ask. Something softens in his amber eyes. Worried about me, Lena Hart? Despite everything, warmth blooms in my chest. Someone should be. The ghost of a smile touches his lips. I've survived worse. The fire, I say without thinking. His smile fades. Yes. He turns to leave, but I catch his arm. Ronan. He looks back, surprise evident at my use of his name. Be careful, I say. For a heartbeat, something electric passes between us, a current of recognition, of connection. Then he pulls away. Keep him safe, he says, glancing at Eli, no matter what happens. Then he's gone, shouting orders as he strides from the tower. Maeve hurries us through a servant's passage, avoiding the main corridors. Kyle joins us halfway, his face a mask of controlled tension. How bad is it? I ask him. Bad, he answers bluntly. Darius brought 3 times our number. Fear claws at my throat. Can Ronan win? Kale's eyes meet mine. The king has never lost a battle on his own territory. But his voice lacks conviction. The king's chambers prove even more impressive than expected. A suite of rooms at the fortress's heart. Thick walls, heavy doors, no windows at ground level. No one gets in without going through me first, Kale promises, stationing himself at the entrance. Maeve checks her supplies. I should return to the wounded. Will you be all right? I nod, though confidence feels distant. Go where you're needed. After she leaves, silence descends. Eli explores the rooms cautiously with Shadow at his heels. I pace near the door, straining to hear any news from outside. Hours pass. Occasionally, shouts or howls reach us, but it's impossible to tell which side gains advantage. As dusk approaches, smoke begins to filter through the high windows. Fire, I murmur. The irony isn't lost on me. Kale shifts uneasily outside the door. Stay ready, he calls through the thick wood. We may need to move quickly. I gather what might be useful. A knife from Ronan's desk, a heavy cloak, a water skin. Eli watches me with solemn understanding. When the first explosion rocks the fortress, I grab him close. The sound came from the eastern wall, precisely where the rogues had been massing. Silver bombs, Kale growls from the corridor. They're trying to weaken the stone. A second explosion follows, closer this time. Dust rains from the ceiling. Eli's fingers dig into my arms. His eyes ask the question I've been avoiding. We'll be fine, I promise him, though uncertainty gnaws at my heart. The third explosion shakes the very foundation. Footsteps thunder in the corridor, too many for just Kale. Fighting erupts outside our door. Snarls and screams blend into a nightmare chorus. Get back, Kale shouts to us. I pull Eli into the innermost chamber, searching frantically for another exit. There isn't one. Shadow growls, hackles rising as he positions himself between us and the door. The fighting outside intensifies. A body slams against the door with enough force to crack the wood. Eli trembles against me. I hold him tighter, mind racing for a solution that doesn't exist. When the door finally splinters open, I raise the knife. A pathetic defense against what waits beyond. Kale lies motionless in the corridor, blood pooling beneath him. Standing over him is a tall figure with cruel eyes and a jagged scar across his throat. Darius. Found you, he says, smiling coldly. Two rogues flank him, weapons drawn. Behind them, the corridor burns. Where's Ronan? I demand, backing away. Darius steps into the room. The great Alpha King has fallen, just as I planned. No, the word echoes in my mind, too painful to voice. You're lying, I say instead. See for yourself, Darius gestures behind him. His fortress burns, his pack scatters. Eli presses against my legs, trembling with fear. Shadow snarls, preparing to attack despite the impossible odds. The boy comes with me, Darius says, extending his hand. You can join him or die here. Your choice. You'll have to kill me first, I reply, raising the knife higher. Darius sighs with exaggerated patience. Always the difficult one, Lena. The name hits me like a physical blow. What did you call me? His smile widens. You still don't remember, do you? How convenient. Remember what? That you were his mate, Darius says. That I took you from him. That I burned you and brought you back. The room spins around me. That's impossible. Blood magic makes many things possible, Darius replies. I needed a vessel with latent wolf blood, human enough to bear a child, wolf enough to survive the ritual. Images flash through my mind. Fire, pain, darkness. Memories or nightmares? You died screaming his name, Darius continues, clearly enjoying my horror. And woke with no memory of him or what you were. Why? I whisper. Why do this? Because I needed the child of a reborn soul, he answers. The prophecy was specific, and now, after years of waiting, I'll claim what's mine. He steps closer, Shadow lunges but is caught mid-air by one of the rogues. The hound yelps in pain. "No more delays," Darius says, reaching for Eli. Something snaps inside me, a barrier breaking. Heat floods my veins, memories cascading through my consciousness. Running through forests with a black wolf at my side. Ronan's smile in firelight, his hands gentle on my skin, his mark on my shoulder. The rogues dragging me away. Fire, pain, darkness. Then nothing. Until now. "You won't touch him," I growl, my voice changing, deepening. Darius pauses, watching with fascination as pain rips through my body. Ah, there she is. The wolf returns. My bones crack and reshape. Skin burns as fur pushes through. The knife clatters to the floor from hands that are no longer human. The transformation is agony and ecstasy, a homecoming to a form I'd forgotten I possessed. Where Lena stood moments before, a golden wolf now snarls, teeth bared at the rogues. Darius steps back. Impressive, but futile. He signals his men forward. "Take the boy. Kill the wolf." They advance cautiously. I gather my new strength, muscles bunching beneath unfamiliar fur. I launch at the nearest rogue, teeth finding his throat. Blood sprays across the room as he falls. The second attacker swings a silver blade. I dodge, faster than I knew I could move, and tear into his leg. He screams, collapsing. Darius draws his own weapon, a wicked curved blade that gleams with unnatural light. "I brought you into this world," he says. "I can send you back out." He lunges with unexpected speed. The blade slices across my shoulder, burning like acid. I howl in pain but don't retreat. Eli needs me. Ronan needs me. Ronan. The name echoes through my transformed mind. My mate. My king. New strength flows through my veins. I attack again, driving Darius back toward the shattered door. "You can't win," he snarls, slashing wildly. "Even if you kill me, you'll never leave this burning fortress alive." But I'm not fighting to escape. I'm fighting to protect. I feint left, then spring right, catching his weapon arm in my jaws. Bones crunch between my teeth. Darius screams, the blade falling from useless fingers. He stumbles back into the corridor and collides with a massive black wolf. Ronan. Relief floods through me at the sight of him, bloodied but alive, amber eyes blazing with fury. Darius tries to flee, but Ronan's jaws close around his throat. One powerful jerk, and the rogue alpha goes limp. It's over in seconds. Ronan releases Darius's body, letting it fall to the floor. His amber eyes find mine, recognizing me despite my transformed state, my mate, my alpha. I turn back to Eli, who stands frozen against the wall. Fear fills his eyes as he stares at what his mother has become. Pain of a different kind lances through me. Will he reject me now? Slowly, hesitantly, I approach him. My son. My reason for living. His small hand reaches out, trembling slightly. Fingers brush the fur between my ears. And then, miracle of miracles, he smiles. A real smile that reaches his eyes. "Mom," he whispers. His voice. After months of silence, his voice. Joy overwhelms me. I press my muzzle against his chest gently. Ronan shifts back to human form, wrapping a torn cloak around his waist. His eyes never leave us. "The fortress is secure," he says. "Darius's forces are retreating or captured." I try to shift back but can't seem to control the change. Panic rises. "Breathe," Ronan instructs, kneeling beside me. "Feel your human form. Remember it." I focus on his voice, on memories of my human body. Slowly, painfully, bones reshape. Fur recedes. Skin returns. When the transformation completes, I collapse against him, naked and trembling. Ronan wraps his cloak around me. "I've got you," he murmurs. "You're alive," I whisper, tears streaming down my face. "He said you'd fallen. It takes more than rogues to kill a king, Ronan replies, a hint of pride in his voice. Eli approaches cautiously. I open my arms, and he rushes into them. You spoke, I say, kissing his hair. You found your voice. I remember everything, I tell Ronan. What I was, who we were. His arms tighten around us both. Elena. Yes, I answer. And Lena, too. Both are me now. The fortress still burns around us, but in this moment, surrounded by my son and my mate, I've never felt safer. Home, Eli whispers against my shoulder. Ronan's eyes meet mine over our son's head. Yes, he agrees. You're finally home. 6 months later, spring breathes life into the Northern Territories. The fortress stands renewed, its damaged sections rebuilt stronger than before. Snow melts from the mountains, feeding streams that race through awakening forests. I stand on the balcony of the eastern tower, watching wolves train in the courtyard below. The morning sun warms my face as a gentle breeze carries the scent of pine and fresh earth. There you are. I turn to find Ronan approaching, his powerful frame silhouetted against the doorway. He wears simple training clothes, hair pulled back from his face. The silver circlet of his station is absent. Morning, I say, smiling as he joins me. How was patrol? Quiet, as it should be. He stands beside me, our shoulders touching. The Eastern Packs have renewed their oaths of loyalty. Fear or respect, I ask. His mouth quirks upward. Does it matter? Yes, I reply simply. Ronan considers this. Respect, I think. After Darius, they appreciate stability. I nod, satisfied with his answer. Since the battle, neighboring packs have approached with caution, uncertain how to respond to a king who not only defeated the largest rogue uprising in decades, but also reclaimed a mate thought long dead. Eli was looking for you, I say. He wants to show you his progress. Pride fills Ronan's eyes. He's advancing quickly. He has a good teacher. After regaining his voice, Eli began training with the pack's youngest members. His human limitations are balanced by determination that impresses even the most skeptical wolves. And what of his mother? Ronan asks, fingers tracing my arm lightly. How was your shift this morning? I lean into his touch. Easier each time. The transition between my forms still causes pain, but less with each passing week. My body remembers its dual nature more readily now. Maeve says the memories will continue returning, I tell him. Not all at once, but in pieces. Does that frighten you? Ronan asks. I consider the question. Sometimes. I lived as Lena for years. Discovering I was once someone else, someone who loved you, it changes everything and nothing. You're still you, Ronan says firmly. Elena, Lena. The name doesn't matter. Your soul remains unchanged. His certainty comforts me. From the first moment he recognized my scent in the forest, Ronan has never doubted. Even when I couldn't remember him, he knew me. The council meets this afternoon, he says, changing subjects. They expect both of us. I groan softly. Politics. His laugh rumbles through his chest. The burden of leadership. Your burden, I remind him. I'm just the mate who returned from the dead. Ronan's expression grows serious. You're more than that. The pack sees how you fought for them. How you care for the wounded. How you protect what's yours. What's mine? The phrase settles comfortably in my heart. I still don't understand everything, I admit. Why Darius went to such lengths, how the magic worked. Blood magic has rules we may never fully comprehend, Ronan says. But Maeve believes Darius discovered only half the prophecy. What was the other half? That the child born to the reborn soul would bring balance, not power. That his voice, once found, would speak truth that unites rather than divides. I think of Eli, his gentle spirit unbroken despite everything he's endured. That suits him better than Darius's version. Ronan nods. The rogues sought domination. Our son will help build something lasting instead. Our son. Though not his by blood, Ronan has claimed Eli as pack and family. The bond between them grows stronger each day. He asked about shifting again, I tell him. He's persistent, Ronan says with a smile. But we have time. His human blood is dominant now. If wolf nature emerges, it will come in its own time. A comfortable silence falls between us. Below in the courtyard, warriors pair off for training exercises. Their movements are fluid, powerful, a dance of strength and strategy. Do you regret it? Ronan asks suddenly. Finding your way back to this life? I turn to face him fully. Do you regret finding me? Never, he says without hesitation. Even if you'd chosen to leave once the danger passed, even if you'd never remembered, finding you alive was enough. My heart swells with emotion. This fierce king with his tender heart. How could I not love him? I don't regret it, I answer honestly. The memories are still patchy. Lena feels partly like me, and partly like someone I'm getting to know. But this, I gesture between us, feels right. It always has, even when I didn't understand why. Relief softens his expression. He reaches for my hand, fingers intertwining with mine. When I first scented you in that forest, he says quietly, I thought I was going mad. My wolf recognized you instantly, but my human mind refused to believe. That's why you brought us here, I realize. Not just to protect us from Darius. I needed to know, he confirms. Needed to understand how you could exist when I felt you die. The memory of fire flashes briefly, phantom pain that belongs to another life. I push it away, focusing on his face, on the present. And now? I ask. Now I'm grateful for whatever magic or fate brought you back, he says simply. Second chances are rare. A shout from below draws our attention. Eli races across the courtyard, shadow bounding alongside him. His laughter carries on the spring air. He's happy here, I observe. Are you? Ronan asks. His voice remains casual, but I sense the weight behind the question. Instead of answering immediately, I step closer, my free hand rising to trace the scar on his jaw. He remains perfectly still under my touch, amber eyes watching me intently. I was running all my life, I say. First from Darius, then from memories I couldn't access, from a past I couldn't remember. Always looking over my shoulder, always afraid. Ronan waits, patient as only an alpha can be when something matters. Here, I don't need to run anymore, I continue. Here, I can stand and face whatever comes. That's freedom I never had before. That's not quite answering my question, he points out gently. I smile. Yes, Ronan, I'm happy here, with you, with the pack, with this life we're building. The tension in his shoulders eases. He leans forward, resting his forehead against mine. Good, he murmurs, because I'm never letting you go again. Is that a royal decree, my king? I tease. His hand cups my cheek. It's a promise from a mate who thought he'd lost everything. The intensity of his gaze steals my breath. 5 months since the battle, since my memories began returning. And still he looks at me with wonder. We should get ready for the council, I say reluctantly. Ronan nods but doesn't move away. One moment more. His lips find mine, gentle at first, then with growing urgency. Heat blooms between us, the mate bond humming with energy that never diminishes. When we finally part, his eyes have darkened to molten gold. The wolf peers through, possessive and proud. Now we can face the council, he says, voice rough. I laugh, straightening my tunic. You're impossible. Yet you love me anyway. I do, I admit freely. Both parts of me do. We make our way down from the tower, hands linked. Servants and warriors nod respectfully as we pass. Some still watch me with curiosity. The human who is wolf, the mate who returned from death. In the main courtyard, we find Eli demonstrating a fighting stance to younger pack children. His form is perfect, movements precise despite his smaller size. He learns quickly, Kyle observes, appearing beside us. The beta survived his wounds from Darius's attack, though recovery has been slow. His loyalty to Ronan has only deepened since the battle. He has good teachers, Ronan replies. Kale's eyes shift to me. The Luna's influence, no doubt. Luna. The title still feels strange. Part of my recovered memories, part new identity. He was always a fighter, I say, watching Eli correct another child's stance, even when he couldn't speak. The pack children adore him, Kyle notes. Human or not, they sense his strength. Coming from Kale, who initially viewed us with suspicion, this is high praise. The northern delegates have arrived, he continues, returning to business. They bring news of rogue activity near the mountains. Ronan's expression hardens. Darius's remaining followers? Possibly, Kale confirms. They seek leadership from those who served him. We'll discuss it in council, Ronan decides. Have Maeve attend as well. If blood magic was involved before, it may be again. Kale nods and departs to make arrangements. It never truly ends, does it? I ask quietly. Ronan's arm slides around my waist. Peace is never permanent, but neither is conflict. Always the philosopher, I tease. He smiles. One of us has to be. Eli notices us and waves excitedly. We wave back, watching as he returns to his training. Go prepare for council, Ronan says. I'll speak with our son first. I nod and start toward our chambers, but Ronan catches my wrist gently. One more thing, he says. Yes? His eyes hold mine with sudden seriousness. No matter what comes, rogues, magic, prophecies, we face it together this time. Together, I agree. No more separations. His fingers tighten briefly before releasing me. I'll hold you to that, Luna. The title sounds different when he says it. Not a formal address, but an endearment. In our chambers, I change into more appropriate attire for the council meeting. The dress is simple but elegant, dyed the deep blue of the Northern Territory. Silver embroidery marks me as the king's mate. As I fasten the final clasp, my eyes catch on the scar visible at my shoulder, the mate mark that connected us across death itself. I touch it gently, remembering the moment Ronan showed me his matching mark, the proof that bound us together even when my memories failed. A knock at the door interrupts my thoughts. Enter, I call. Maeve steps inside, carrying a small wooden box. The king asked me to bring this to you before council. She sets the box on the table, smiling mysteriously. He said you'd understand. After she leaves, I approach the box cautiously. It's carved from dark wood, intricate wolf designs running along its edges. Inside rests a silver circlet, smaller and more delicate than Ronan's, but unmistakably a crown. A single amber stone gleams at its center, catching the light like a wolf's eye. Beneath it lies a folded note in Ronan's handwriting. For the queen who crossed death to return home. Wear it proudly. R. Tears prick my eyes as I lift the circlet. Not just Luna then, but Queen. His equal in all things, as we were always meant to be. I place it carefully on my head, adjusting until it sits comfortably. The weight feels strange, but not unwelcome. When I arrive at the council chambers, conversation stops. Warriors and pack elders rise to their feet. At the head of the table, Ronan watches me with undisguised pride. Eli sits at his right hand, small but dignified in new clothes that match his stepfather's. The empty chair at Ronan's left awaits me. As I take my place, Ronan reaches for my hand beneath the table. Perfect, he whispers. The council begins, voices rising and falling as reports are given and strategies discussed. I listen carefully, offering insights when appropriate. This is my role now, not just mate but leader. Hours later, as the meeting concludes, Ronan announces a feast to honor the visiting delegates. The mood lightens immediately, talk turning to preparations. "You handled Goran well," Ronan comments as we walk from the chamber. He rarely accepts suggestions from anyone, let alone a newcomer. "I'm hardly new," I remind him. "Part of me has known these wolves for years." He smiles. "True, though I think it was Lena's directness rather than Elena's diplomacy that won him over." "I'm finding the balance," I admit, "between who I was and who I am now." "You're doing well," Ronan assures me. "Better than anyone could expect." We collect Eli from the training yard, where he's been sent to burn off energy after sitting through the council meeting. His face lights up when he sees us. "Can we run tonight?" he asks eagerly. "After the feast," Ronan promises. "If your mother feels up to it." I nod. The full moon will make shifting easier. Though Eli can't transform himself, he loves riding on Ronan's back during pack runs. The joy on his face as we race through moonlit forests makes any discomfort from shifting worthwhile. The feast unfolds with typical northern abundance, tables laden with roasted meats, breads, and early spring vegetables. Wine and mead flow freely as wolves celebrate surviving winter's grip. I sit beside Ronan at the high table, observing the gathering. Warriors who once eyed me with suspicion now raise glasses in my honor. Servants who whispered about the human Lena now smile as I pass. "Happy?" Ronan asks quietly. "Content," I correct him. "Happiness comes and goes. Contentment lasts." His hand finds mine beneath the table. Wise words from my queen. "I had a good teacher," I reply, squeezing his fingers. "A king who waited for me across death itself." As the evening progresses, Eli grows tired despite his excitement for the promised run. His head nods against Ronan's shoulder. "Perhaps we should postpone our run," I suggest. Eli straightens immediately. "I'm not tired." Ronan and I exchange amused glances. "The moon will still be full tomorrow," Ronan tells him, "and you'll enjoy it more with proper rest." After brief negotiation, we agree to a short run tonight and a longer one tomorrow. Eli accepts the compromise with surprising grace, another sign of his growth these past months. As the feast concludes, we slip away to our private chambers. Eli changes into warmer clothes while Ronan and I prepare for transformation. "Remember," Ronan says as I remove my gown, "let your body remember its true nature. Don't fight the change." I nod, centering myself as Maeve taught me. The pain comes as always, bones shifting, muscles stretching, but passes more quickly than before. Where I stood moments before, a golden wolf now shakes out her fur. Beside me, Ronan's massive black form towers impressively. Eli claps his hands with delight. "You're beautiful, Mom." The words warm me even in this form. I nuzzle his hand affectionately. Ronan kneels, allowing Eli to climb onto his broad back. Once settled, we slip through a private passage that leads directly to the forest beyond the fortress walls. The night embraces us with silver moonlight and star-filled skies. The scents of spring fill my sensitive nose. New growth, thawing earth, distant prey. We run together through familiar paths, Eli laughing with pure joy as he clutches Ronan's fur. The forest welcomes us as its own. For an hour, we lose ourselves in the simple pleasure of movement. No councils, no politics, no responsibilities, just family enjoying the freedom of the night. When we return to our chambers, exhaustion finally claims Eli. He falls asleep almost instantly, curled beneath furs with shadow at his feet. Ronan and I shift back to human form, dressing in simple night clothes. We stand together watching our son sleep. "He trusts completely now," Ronan observes quietly. "No nightmares this week. He feels safe, I reply. Something I couldn't give him alone. Ronan's arm circles my waist. You gave him everything you could. That's why he survived. We both did, I acknowledge, and now we don't have to do it alone anymore. We move to our own chamber, leaving the door ajar to hear Eli if he wakes. Though the fortress remains secure, old habits die hard. The delegates were impressed with you, Ronan says as we settle into bed. Goran mentioned forming a trading agreement. Is that unusual? I ask, nestling against his side. The northern clans rarely trade with outsiders, Ronan explains. It's a significant gesture of trust. Because of me? I find this hard to believe. Because of us, he corrects. They see strength in our bond. Stability. I trace the line of his jaw thoughtfully. And do you feel stable, my king? His arm tightens around me. More than I've felt in 5 years. The honesty in his voice touches me deeply. Ronan, who carries the weight of an entire territory on his shoulders, found his balance when I returned. I never thought I'd have this again, he admits quietly. Family, connection, purpose beyond mere survival. You never gave up, I point out. You kept fighting even after you thought I died. For the pack, he agrees, but not for myself. I understand the distinction. For years after escaping Darius, I lived only for Eli's safety. My own happiness seemed irrelevant. And now? I ask. Ronan shifts to face me, amber eyes serious in the dim light. Now I have everything worth fighting for in these walls. My mate, my son, my pack. I kiss him softly. Then we'll protect it together. His fingers trace the mate mark on my shoulder, a habit that brings comfort to us both. I dream sometimes, he confesses, that you're still lost, that I'm searching endless forests but never finding you. I'm here, I assure him, placing his hand over my heart. Both parts of me, Lena and Lena, past and present, forever, he says. It's not quite a question. Forever, I confirm. Death couldn't keep us apart. Nothing will. His kiss is gentle, reverent, a promise sealed without words. Later, as Ronan sleeps beside me, I watch moonlight paint silver patterns across our chamber. Outside, the forest stands sentinel around the fortress walls. Beyond that, territories stretch to distant mountains. Once, those distances terrified me. Each mile represented danger as Eli and I fled across unknown lands. Now I see them differently, as the path that led me home. Every step, every hardship, every moment of fear brought me back to where I belong, to my mate, my son, my pack, my true self. The past will always be part of me, both the years as Lena and the recovered memories as Lena. But the future stretches before us, unwritten and full of possibility. In the morning, we'll face council meetings and border patrols, training sessions and pack politics. The normal rhythm of life in the Northern Territories. But tonight, in this quiet moment, I simply exist in perfect contentment. A woman twice born, twice named, but single in purpose. I am the Alpha's mate, the mother of a special child, the queen of the Northern Pack. I am home. And this time, nothing will take me from it. The moon continues its silent journey across the night sky as I drift into dreams beside my mate, my king, my Ronan. We are finally truly home.